In today's video, I'm going to go over the rental income expense version 2.0. Over the years, the last 3 years, I have been updating this rental income expense. And this is actually the third time that I have updated it. So I figured I'd share with you the amazing things I have done to this spreadsheet. A lot of things has been updated. I add a lot of visual and a lot of dynamic charts in it. Make things a lot more funner to keep track of your rental expense and income. So let's get started. So here you got the dashboard. As you can see, the dashboard is the annual summary. Here it has all the layout of all the properties, up to 12 properties. You got your incomes, your expense. And the neat thing about it is the income shows progress as you add income, and expense also show progress. And then you have the profit. I also added the cash flow meter in there. As you can see, the cash flow meter, pretty neat, is it shows how much cash flow you're getting as you input the amount daily. And you got your yearly summary pie, and here's your chart, a chart that shows your cash flow and profit by property. I like this to show you what your cash flow and your actual profit of the property. And then on this chart over here is a breakdown, all the expense by property. On your left side you can see the property. And then here, color coded, is what expense. Great thing about this chart is it shows you what expenses you have that is more than normal, and you can actually, when you see that, you actually can take care of it, right? Let's say you have too much maintenance in a water leak or whatever, and then you try to control that more. Try to fix it in the future or whatever, prevent it from happening again. Down here is your income category by property, showing where most of your income or what income you're generating is coming from. Again, on the left side is property, and over here on your right is your breakdown. I like this chart right here. This is your income, expense, and profit. Breakdown by property. It shows you the amount, your expense, your income, and then your profit. So the nice thing about it, it can tell you which property, it shows you which property is making a lot of money, or is not making enough money, or it's got too much expense. Now let's go with the summary here. This is your summary. I know I'm working backward here, but on this tab you don't have to do anything. You have to input it. Everything will be calculated and compute once you enter all the data entry. But nice thing about this chart, it shows you progress. Again, here's your income. Let me zoom in on here a little bit. Here's your income, and it shows you the amount of income and what type of income you're getting from. And here's your expense. Again, showing what expense and category expense breakdown. And this blue area is your travel miles. You have your miles, your time, your hours. As you know from prior videos of version, I like to keep track of my travel miles and the hours I spend on the property. So I had in this version is a chart. So the nice thing about this chart is it's a visual management. It lets you see which property you're traveling the most miles on, and then also the hours by property, which amount of hours you're spending on, right? So it's a nice thing. It's just a little bump thing I added in just for fun, but you can actually use it. So now we're in the daily data entry tab. This is where you input all your information. My main goal was to save time, so I designed it to make it really simple and really a lot of drop down lists. And once you generate your drop down list, here's your data calculation entry. I'll go over that a little bit, but once you input all your data calculate entry, it does all your drop down lists for you. So example here, let's say you scroll down here. So let's say today property 1, you select property 1, and let's say you hit date, right? Oops. Let's say you fix the toilet. You type in, you just go to location, property 1, and it generates, so you can see that it generates the miles and time for you automatically. And then if you spend, let's say you had to buy some plumbing or some, so you say supplies here, and you hit, let's say $100, and let's say you spend $6 on travel meal stays, so you keep track of it, and the amount of time, if you want to track, let's say from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. I was there to fix the toilet, and it calculates that for you. Let's go here and see here. As you can see here, the supplies, you see how I automatically add $100 in there, and then the miles calculated. Again, my main agenda to making this data entry as simple and fast as possible, because there's days when if you have 12 properties, you might input up to 10 or 12 transactions. So that's the reason why I made it real simple. Now let's go to the data entry calculation. So now we're in the data entry calculation. This is where you add all your from and to distant, your calculating of miles, your income drop down categories, and that expense category. So for example, let's say property 1, and you can change all this. If you change all this here, it changes everything. Let's say I change this to jumbo here. Let's go back here. I'll show you here. It changed jumbo. As you can see, it changed jumbo here. Even in these charts, it changes. Everything changes. So that's a nice thing. Everything's linked. Again, I'm trying to make everything as simple as possible. So let's go back to the data calculation here. So back to this tab here. So you put in miles, one-way mile, let's say 50, it calculates miles back for you automatically. And here down here is your weekly. Let's say you go to let's say Home Depot a lot weekly. You can add all the weekly travel in here, so you don't have to calculate how many, where you're traveling from, or track how many miles. It does all the tracking for you just by location. That's why I have this. It actually saves me a lot of time and helps me a lot. Here you put Home Depot, you put from business or wherever you're going from Home Depot, wherever. Let's say it's 50 miles. You put 50 miles in a minute, and usually you can use Google Maps, wherever, it tells you all that. And you just make your list, and it goes back to your data entry, right? Like the location. Once you input all that, all this changes here. As you can see here, all the blanks updates for you automatically. In all your income category, you can add more if you want. And let's say we change this to income as cleaning. And you go back over here, and let's pull down, see if it changes here. And voila, you see how cleaning just was added to the drop down list. That's nice about it, real simple. But yeah, that's pretty much it on the spreadsheet. Oh yeah, and one more thing, I forgot to mention these indicator, net loss indicator. Let me zoom in here a little bit, talk to you more about it. I add these in just for a bonus, just for fun, but at the same time, it's a good visual management tool. It tells you, let's say your profit, your income and your expense. Let's say your expense is more than your income, it calculates by ratio, of course, by percentage. And if your income is doing well, it's more on the green. If it's doing bad, it's more on the red side. So as you can see here, changes here, like this property over here. Property 3 is 54%. So you always want to, of course, you want to aim 50% or above. But that's the reason why I have it in there. So it makes it a little bit fun, and also a nice extra feature to have. In conclusion, I myself is a investor, so I know how much time it is to input transaction daily. So that's the reason why I developed this spreadsheet for myself, but over the years it evolved, and I figure I share with you guys on how much time it can save you. And it's simple, and it's a nice tool, great visual management tool to see where your property are daily and weekly and live updates, you know, with your income and expense. So it's a good spreadsheet, and there is a link below if you're interested. Visit my Etsy shop and take a look at it.